So you would think after going rogue for like the 20th time, it would get old fast, but nah. Tom Cruise pulls it off again.
You know something? I'm a fucking animal! Ah! Animal!
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Flicking Things. My name is Daniel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So there's no way around it. This movie is a blast. It's a lot of fun. There is tons of action. I mean, you saw it in the trailer. I mean, it's nonstop action pretty much from the beginning till end. There's a lot of it, and I had a blast with this movie. I just don't know how Tom Cruise just keeps on doing it. You know, he's coming off the heels of Top Gun, you know, with that success and everyone loving that movie, myself included. And, you know, this is the, seventh Mission Impossible, and they're all good. Like, they're all entertaining. And do we think, like, usually, like, around the third or fourth movie in a franchise, it starts running out of ideas and it gets stale pretty fast. But somehow we're in the seventh one, and this is a really good movie. And like I said, the action scenes are fantastic, especially the car chase scene and the ending, you know, the last act, which is, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but it is pretty entertaining. But yeah, I just want to talk about the chase scene real quick. When I was watching the trailers and the previews, there's this one part where they're driving in the little Fiat, and when I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I don't know if that would be exciting. You know, it's a lot different when you're driving like all fast in Lamborghini or Mercedes or BMW. You know, it would be a lot more entertaining if they're driving in that. But no, they even in this little tiny Fiat, this car chase scene is somehow entertaining. And, you know, speaking of the car chase scene, one of the standouts who's included in this car chase scene is Pom Klementieff. I can't pronounce her name, I forget, but basically the girl who plays Mantis in Guardians of the Galaxy. She's a pretty big standout in this movie. She's a total badass. She's like one of those characters that doesn't have many words, you know, but she still kicks ass, and, you know, she means business, and she's just like, you know, full on force, you know, doing whatever it takes to get at our heroes, you know, Tom Cruise and the crew. I thought she was really great in this movie. Pretty much the whole cast did pretty good. I mean, there's quite a few new characters. I gotta admit, you know, I was a little worried because I thought maybe it'll be too bloated with characters, but actually they did a pretty good job of blending everyone in and not letting the movie become bloated with all these characters where, like, you know, it just jumping back and forth. But they did a really good job blending everyone in. But the standout of this movie is Hayley Atwell. She definitely steals the show. She was great in this movie. I loved her character. What I really loved about her character was that she wasn't like a girl boss. You know, she was very vulnerable. She was in over her head a lot of the times, you know, and it was a breath of fresh air. And it's kind of like unfortunate to say, you know, because a lot of movies in Hollywood have become so focused on making girls pretty much girl bosses, and where they pretty much become one-dimensional, where they're overpowered, you know, they have no issues, they're nothing, they're just like these amazing characters who are flawless. And for me, I feel like females who are watching, you know, these type of movies probably can't relate to these girls because they're so, like, perfect, you know. And I would honestly think girls will probably feel bad about themselves because, you know, they see all these girl bosses and these girls that just don't have any issues, they're just flawless, and they're just fake, they're not real. Whereas this movie, Hayley Atwell, she's a complete opposite. Like, I really loved her story arc from the beginning till the end of the movie, where she, you know, starts to come into her own. Like I said, she's in over her head, very vulnerable. And I love that Tom Cruise, you know, kind of like shows her the ropes, and he doesn't belittle her. You know, he doesn't like, you know, like, I'm a man, let me take care of this, you know, I'll do it myself. No, he includes her in the team. And, you know, speaking of team, what I loved about this story was, you know, this was more about friendship. So it had a lot of heart. It had a lot of emotion into it. All the original cast is here. You know, you got Benji, you got Elsa, you got Luther, and like I said, this story really focuses on being a team and being, you know, pretty much a family and like friendship. I love the way how they kind of explored that, you know, with Tom Cruise, you know, basically what he's willing to do to save his friends, you know, and he's not gonna like refuse a mission or refuse the terms to, you know, save his friends. I really like that dynamic because you really haven't seen that too much in a Mission Impossible movie. So this was pretty different, and I really liked the angle that they did right there. So yeah, I got to take the time to give Tom Cruise his props. I know I talked about all the other characters, but I got to give Tom Cruise his props. I mean, this guy is the true, he's the definition of the last action hero. I mean, you really don't see that star power in Hollywood anymore. These action heroes are kind of come and gone. You really don't see that in Hollywood. And he's like truly like the last one who's really, become like cementing himself in Hollywood, in history, one of the greatest action heroes of all time. And I don't know how he does it, but I think he's like in his 60, 61, and he's still pulling off these stunts. What I really love, because he's doing it for the fans, he's doing it for us, for our entertainment. He's not doing it for money. I mean, of course, I'm pretty sure he likes getting paid, but I mean, like, you could tell he has passion for what he's doing in these action movies, from Mission Impossible, Top Gun, these blockbuster movies, and he keeps on delivering. And you just have to really appreciate what he's doing at the moment. You really don't see that like at all. And I wouldn't even say you really don't see it. You don't see it at all pretty much, in Hollywood. And it's just awesome that we get an actor who's truly, in love with this craft and really wants to entertain the fans. And he does it. He does it in this movie. Like, he pulls it off, and like I said, I got to give him his props. Now, I know I'm being really positive of the movie, but every movie comes with its negatives, and this movie definitely has some. I will say the story is a bit much. It's a little, it's kind of hard to follow sometimes. Like, you really have to pay attention. Like, if you're like on your phone and you're not really paying, like, you might miss an important detail. It's very ambitious. It deals with AI. Because it deals with AI, there's really no true villain. Esai Morales, I think that's how you pronounce his name, Esai. He's like the main bad guy, but like, because since it involves AI and this, entity, he's not going to be the main villain. I mean, he might be a placeholder for part 2, but you can tell like he's like not the main villain. He's more like a puppet, I guess you would say. So, I mean, I guess that would be negative because like I said, it involves AI. So you can't like attach yourself to like a true villain because you kind of don't know like who to trust. Another negative is the ending, obviously, because it is a part 1. I wouldn't say it ends on a cliffhanger, but it does end without a true resolution or true ending. So some people might feel like that's a negative. I mean, I guess like for me, it was like, it's hard to like rate it because you haven't seen the third one. When the third one comes out, and if it's really good, you can appreciate the ending even more with this one. But it just felt like, it's a part 1, so there's really no true ending. It's hard to say because you do get a satisfying end, but at the end of the day, it's only part 1 and there's no resolution. So you just got to wait for part 2, which me personally, I cannot wait for part 2. I really enjoyed this one, so I'm definitely looking forward to part 2. And I'm like, man, like, I'm going to have to wait a whole nother year. Like, I don't even know. I don't think the part 2 even has a release date, but yeah, you're going to have to wait like, another year for it to come out. I guess it's the same feeling as what I had for Across the Spider-Verse, where that one, now that movie actually ends on a cliffhanger, but I left the same way. It's like, man, I got to wait for part 2. So yeah, so some people might, feel like it's a negative, but yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Is it the best Mission Impossible movie? No, I would say either 4 or 5 are probably my favorite. One of those two, but that's not to say this movie's bad. I would say this is more like in the middle. It's up there, but it's like maybe in the middle of the pack, maybe a little bit higher. Like maybe if I'm having to choose, maybe 3 or 4 in that order. But that, like I said, is not to say this is a bad movie because all the Mission Impossible movies are pretty entertaining. I know a lot of people give Mission Impossible 2, they give it a lot of hate, but I don't know. I find it entertaining. I get it. It's like it came out at a bad time. Like I would say, like I think it came out like in 2000, like early 2000s. So it's like really cheesy, corny, ridiculous. It's an unfortunate movie. It's its own victim because it came out in 2000, like I said, early 2000s. So it came out at a bad time, like where movies were very action movies were very bad around that time. So like I said, I would say I'll put this in the middle of the pack, but it's still a great entertaining movie. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I'm gonna give this movie a rating. I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Ethan Hunt's. A really entertaining movie. I can't stress it enough, like how unbelievable Tom Cruise is as far as like these action stunts and how he just continues to deliver in these Mission Impossible movies. Yeah, I recommend it. Definitely go check it out. Check it out IMAX. You know, one of the big screens. Definitely check it out. It's definitely worth the watch. All right, that's gonna do it for my review. Let me know what you guys think of the movie, and give me your ranking as far as the Mission Impossible movies. Let me know which one's your favorite and where you have, you know, all the other Mission Impossibles ranked in your list. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys next one. See you.